Within my first 3 months being in Spain, I have made every mistake possible, even those that could be easily avoided. I moved to the wrong city, I miscalculated budget, my research should have looked completely different. And yet here I am, almost 2 years later, ready to share my mistakes with you so that you can be smarter planning your next move. If you are new here, hi, my name is Alina, I'm a Ukrainian living in Spain. I have moved here having nothing but a bad plan, but now I'm enjoying a life that I somehow built, working as a product manager in tech, running around Alicante with my international friends, and sharing my journey here. Today is a new format of a video for me. It is the least scripted video I have ever made, because the amount of mistakes and all the nonsense that I imagined about Spain before moving here is more than enough for me to just talk about it. So without further ado, we dive right into what is the first step for every move: research. My first and biggest mistake was doing not nearly enough research about the city I was moving to. Initially, I moved to Sevilla. It was not my first choice. Before Sevilla, I was choosing even worse cities. But at least I got enough brains to understand that smaller cities would not work for me. And I thought Sevilla is big enough. It has 600,000 people. I was thinking it's quite a big place. There should be lots of opportunities. People who speak English, at least for the first time before I learn. Enough services to let me integrate. And just nice places to go and live my life. But the key word here is that I was thinking. I did not do research about it. I just looked at the pictures about the city. I looked at the very basic information like the size, population, location, why people even go there, and I thought it looks good on paper, but I did not do research about my specific situation. I did research about accommodation, but it was only about the prices and not about accessibility. I was watching many videos about moving to Spain, and people were saying that in any city you need these specific documents. It's usually here a work contract, a Spanish bank account, or when you just move there you obviously don't have them, so you can use services of the agencies that usually they have more expensive apartments, but it is still technically local places that you rent long term. You can still find a place for okay money, and a work contract not with Spain but with another country will work, for example, because you still need the documents, just objectively you will not have Spanish ones. So I thought, fine, I understand the system. If it works the same in every city, it's okay for me. What I found out when I moved is that it does not work the same for every city. Every next time I was moving, I was doing research specifically about the place I'm going to, looking for locals who have been there for a long time and who are telling detailed stories about how they found places, because just knowing generic info about how it is to rent an apartment in Spain is never enough to find a place in a specific city. And I also didn't do enough research about how to integrate in the city, because when I moved I saw that there's no foreigners in Sevilla. They're all Spanish people and they speak the fastest Spanish I have ever heard in my life to this day. They're all very authentic. You can clearly see when you see locals, and I look just like an alien in this place. Also, there was no services, no anything available, accessible to me as to an English speaker. Even at the start, I could not even communicate with the landlords, and there was not a single agency that could help me talk to them. And the second point that I did wrong in my research was asking the wrong people. I have been researching who lives in Sevilla, who has been there for some time, what they can tell about it, and I found a blogger, a man in his 50s, and he was saying it's so safe here, it's so nice, everyone should come. But I'm a girl in my 20s, and the city does not function for me the same way as it does for him. I have never felt very unsafe, I just felt uncomfortable. So technically it could be fine, but I also stayed there just for 1 month, and as soon as I met women with whom I could talk, they just looked at me and they said there are some areas in the city where you should just even not step your foot into. And it affected accommodation search, it affected everything in my daily life. So less than a week after this conversation, I just moved to another city. Also, this point is not only about safety, it's about if there's anything to do for people like you. Because I have been listening to grown-up people and they were talking about how nice it is to be here with family. They didn't have any problems with there's nothing to do, nowhere to go, no one to meet. And I did not understand how important it would be for me potentially, because I cannot stay fully isolated my whole time in Spain. So I'm not saying the city is bad, the city is actually really gorgeous, just I was not mindful enough that it is not the right city for me. I have also made this mistake before, even when I was moving not to Spain yet. I used to live in the UK, and before coming there I was watching a lot of content about the country, but I was watching videos specifically from British people where they were talking about their culture, about how to understand them better, which is all good and it did help me in some ways, because I was not surprised, but I was culturally shocked. So I knew it's going to be happening, some parts of how they behave, but I did not know the extent and I did not know how I can react to it. And that to me, as to a foreigner, is just gonna be shocking. Next mistake is also among the most important points, and it is the most frequent mistake to be made among people who move to Spain. No one realizes how much savings you need for the first stage of living in a new country. Whatever is the safety net amount in your head, you need to double it, or at least put an x 1.5. Obviously, we understand that it's not possible to save all the money in the world, but at least give yourself more time before you actually move to a new country. For me, it was just a fixed amount because I decided to move at the end of June. I bought the tickets immediately, and 2 months later, I was already in Spain. But my move was from a country at war, and there was a sense of urgency to it, and I just wanted to move at the time slot when I was mentally ready for it. So I would say it's not technically a mistake because I don't think I could do it any other way. But at the same time, if I were in normal circumstances, I would just go into zero spending mode for a certain amount of time, maybe 6 months, save as much as I can, and then move. If you don't need this money when you come, that's perfect, that's great for you, but most people do because there's a lot of hidden costs, there's a lot of services that you will need that you don't understand yet. It can be fees applied to you as to a foreigner, it can be the price of documents, it can be that you don't find a long-term apartment, loan isn't planned, and you have to rent more expensive places. There's hidden costs from real estate agencies. There's all sorts of emergencies that could happen and you need to be prepared for them. In my case, I lost a job 1 week after moving to Spain, so all my savings vanished at the stage when I was looking for my next job. So whatever the amount you have in your head about how much you need as a safety net, just calculate it again and increase it as much as you can. And for the next mistakes, we move on to the language and culture. I did not learn Spanish for a really long time. Even now, I don't speak well, but I'm learning at least, and I really like the language, so this process is enjoyable for me. And even before I moved to Spain, I started to learn because I enjoyed. Even before moving to Spain, I was learning really actively. I spent a lot of time doing it, and I said I will be more prepared when I come and I will understand what people say to me. I did not understand anything. I moved to a city where everyone speaks X4 speed from anywhere else I've heard so far. They did not understand when I did not understand them. They could not speak slower. And I very quickly got into my head about how much time I already spent learning, and it did not give me anything. And it planted a really big barrier in my head about how I can even learn. And then when I moved from Sevilla to another city, smaller one, I moved just for financial reasons because it was cheaper to live there. And there was nowhere to go, no people to talk to. So I did not keep learning. And I also always had at the back of my mind that I'm probably not going to Spain in this country, and I thought that all the times that I'm here I will be just staying in one apartment, not talking to anyone, just focusing on being self-isolated, and then I just moved back home. So realistically, I did not have a point to learn at the time, which now I regret a little bit because I could spend at least some more time just learning, just at least for curiosity reasons, and I would be speaking more even now, but it is what it is. I was not planning to stay, did not have a purpose to learn, and curiosity was not enough. So now I know that having a reason to learn the language for me is crucial to actually stay consistent, which is the most important and my biggest problem. Speaking Spanish is not critical in daily life, I would say, because all my friends speak English now, but local language always opens many more doors than you have access to as an English speaker. You have access to cheaper accommodation, you can get any documents easier, and just any service you need to get is going to be much faster if you speak Spanish. The last point is the most painful for me personally, and that is because it is not technically a mistake and I don't know how to fix it, but it's just a very frustrating part that exhausts me every time, and I really encourage you to look for more solutions, and if you have them, please let me know, because at this point I'm tired. I'm talking about rent, about how expensive it is if you don't have a work contract in Spain. When you're a foreigner, you mostly only have access to apartments rented through real estate agencies who charge a lot of fees. And when renting a new place, you need to pay 2 months of rent in advance, plus a deposit equal to 1 month, and plus payment to the real estate agency, which is also worth 1 month of rent. These terms can vary slightly, but in general they stay approximately like this. Also, if you have where to stay and if you have more time to find an apartment, you can keep searching by yourself with no agencies. You can be very persistent with it and you will find a place eventually, but it can take months, if not up to a year career, I would say. And when I was moving, I did not have this much time because I moved, I did not know anyone in the country, I did not have where to stay, and I could not afford just living in an Airbnb for a long time. So I had to agree to options that were not best for me at some points, and I had to spend a lot, which was giving me major financial setbacks. So I had many months of zero spending living here. Zero spending meaning I was only paying rent and groceries, and I just did not get anything else. So one solution can be time. If you have any more efficient tips, you can leave them in the comments. I would be really happy to read them. But generally, I do not have any regrets about how I moved, even though I was really unprepared, even though it was full uncertainty, because all of those challenges made my journey unique and they got me to a place where I am now. I'm enjoying my life. I already love this country. I love the people. I have met some of the most amazing people in my life here. I can call this place home, even though it's completely different from my real home. But what I'm ready to stand for is that no move will ever be perfect. And if you're trying to plan out your every step to not make any mistake, it's not possible. So you can listen to all the videos, all the people saying avoid these mistakes when moving. It is going to be really good for you when you get there. You will make it easier for you. Just don't get too in your head when stuff does not go as you expect it to go, because I guarantee that even if you avoid all the mistakes I listed in this video, people list in their videos, you will still find and make your own mistakes. And that is fine. So just be mentally ready for it and take it as easy as possible. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you want to hear more about living in Spain, building a career in tech, and living a life intentionally, subscribe me not to miss the new videos. I'm excited to share the study, and this week I will be posting twice a week because apparently I'm enjoying the process and I really like it here. And see you in the next one.